will be a first generation lawyer. There is no lawyer in my near family.
Mug up नहीं करनी.
Yeah, exactly. Because you are going to come to college to learn the law.
Sincere, studious, hardworking.
Yeah, definitely. Frankly, I really liked reading the newspaper, so I enjoyed reading the Hindu and the Indian Express every day. Put questions on whatever they find interesting.
So why law? Why did you opt for law as a career?
You know that there are 1 lakh people out there and I'm competing with them. That, yeah, I understand that I need to study and this is a much more pressing need. CLAT got nearer, you know, every minute starts counting. You're like, I can't even waste 20 minutes. I need to do this month's GK.
Hi everyone, once again welcome to our channel, and I'm so happy to be interacting with Abhinav, All India Rank 1 of CLAT 2023, and now he is in 3rd year. Welcome to our channel, Abhinav.
Thank you, ma'am.
Okay, so Abhinav, let's quickly dive into the key part. Were you always studious student? Sincere, studious, hardworking?
Yeah, definitely. I think perhaps college aakar I've learned to relax a bit. But school mein I was always the extremely studious student.
Always studying hard, scoring 90+% or 95.
Yeah, in some subjects, maths and science, there was so much.
Okay.
But yeah, I think in the subjects I liked always.
Okay, so if you were always studious, you know, most of the time when the students are so studious, the family as well as the school and everyone expects you to take science, and when you take law, they feel like it's a student wasted. Yeah. So why law? Why did you opt for law as a career?
I think it's interesting because it wasn't my choice exactly. And everyone in my family is a doctor, like mother, father, grandfather, grandmother, every relative you can name is a doctor. But I think by 10th, I knew that science is not for me. So like I often joke to my friends. So I was in the batch whose 10th boards got cancelled because of COVID. Okay. I often joke that if the boards hadn't gotten cancelled, I would have failed in science because I was just not good at it. Okay. I think by 10th, I knew that science is just not for me. Okay. And apart from that, I always had a very great interest in all these BA subjects. Okay. So history, political science, economics, these always appealed to me. Okay. So my father suggested that instead of going for just a plain BA 3-year degree, why don't you consider law, right? Because one, it includes a very substantial BA component. So I get to
study these interests.
Yeah, I get to study these interest subjects. And at the same time, I also have a professional degree, which equips me for something.
Okay, okay. So when you thought that, okay, not science, and you opted for this course, were you thinking any long-term planning that, okay, maybe this is what I want to do? Because when you mentioned that everyone in the family was doctor, so they knew, okay, this is what, 10th onwards, they knew doctor. So what, did you have anything in mind?
Not really. So it was just that, you know, there are these some BA subjects which I find interesting. Science is not really my thing. And frankly, it was a time of very great confusion. I had no idea about what I wanted to do.
Plus, you're mentioning COVID, so obviously no one has no idea.
Yeah, exactly. There was extreme uncertainty. I think that's the best way to sum it up. So then my father nudged me, you know, maybe try starting CLAT preparation. If you don't like it, you can leave in a month. And I was like, you know what, that doesn't sound so bad. Okay. So I started preparing, and then is when I started developing an interest in the law. So whenever I learned, so again in CLAT you learn just basic contracts, basic torts, but even that was something which really interested me. So I think it is from there that I realized that, you know what, maybe law is a very interesting field. And yeah, today here.
Yes. So you still like those legal subjects now?
Yeah, definitely. In fact, I think after coming to law school, I've started to like the law subjects more than the BA subjects.
Good, great. So now also, do you have anything in mind going forward? Because a lot of time students who opt for law as a career, even parents are clueless. Like I have students who have already been studying for 6 months, and when I talk to their parents, they say कि अच्छा ये सब होता है, तो आप भी इसको भी बताना कि इसको आगे क्या क्या करना है. So most of the people, when they think about law, they think about court. So did you research about that? या अभी आपने कुछ mind makeup किया है कि what all things you can get into?
Not really, and I think the factor that contributes is will be a first generation lawyer. There is no lawyer in my near family, so I have no familial guidance about what I can do after my law degree. And I think here is again another place where NLS has played a great role. So I think, again, before coming to law school, I'd watched Suits, I've seen Harvey Specter. Everyone thinks, oh God, glamorous corporate life.
Yes.
So I had a vague idea that, maybe this is something I could go into. But when you enter NLS, it bombards you with so many opportunities that any preconceived notion which you had that this is what I will do, this is what I will not do, it gets thrown out of the window, and you just realize, okay, there are 100 more things to do than I ever realized. So I think my approach right now is to just try to experiment, do a variety of internships, and then see where my interest ultimately ends up.
Right. So you had fun preparing for CLAT, and now you're having fun in NLS.
Yeah.
Studying law, right? Which was more?
I think I was, again, so as I was saying, up until school and even until CLAT, I was very studious. I think it is after coming to college that I've realized there are more things to life.
For example?
For example, yeah, going out with friends, exploring. Bangalore is such a great city. I think it is a very good place to be in for any young person. So yeah, exploring Bangalore, going to new places, going to outstation trips, just generally staying up till 2 a.m. talking to a friend just because you feel like it, right? So this is your time to do what you want to do.
Right. College time is the best time of your life. That is for sure. And if you're at NLS, it makes it more reassuring. You'll get good internship and probably good placement also. Right. So once you enter into law school, because a lot of students know when they are preparing for CLAT, they feel so overburdened. कि यार इतना पढ़ना पड़ रहा है, इतनी reading, इतना ये, इतना वो. Would you say that is something anyways, irrespective of rank, prepares them for college? Or how did that study help you in college?
I think it helps to some degree, but not much. So one example, and again, this is something which first year students approach me a lot with, is कि भैया CLAT के लिए तो we used to read a 50-page mock in 2 hours. Now I'm unable to do a 30-page reading for class, right? Like even if I read it, I'm unable to understand. So I think the main difference is that when you're giving a mock, right, the idea is, okay, I just need to finish it. Whereas when you're preparing for class or you're reading a case or reading a paper, the idea is not to, okay, finish it and answer 5 MCQs, but rather understand, what is the principle of law being laid down, what is the argument being made in this paper. So it does help. I think definitely the reading skills you cultivate help, but it is to a very limited extent.
Right. Okay. What do you find funny about first year? Now when you are in third year, what do you find it funny about the new kids who enter NLS?
I find it amazing how much energy they have. So they are always around campus, running, jumping, playing badminton, singing songs, doing something or the other.
And by third year?
Yeah, by third year you're, I don't know if exhausted is the right word, but you're much more calm and composed. So yeah, again in first year, first time away from home for most people, no parents around, no one, even if it's 4 in the night, no one is telling you go to sleep, right? So you get excited, oh my god, there is so much around. So you make the most use of that. By third year, you're somewhat used to it. And again, so in first year, when you enter a place like NLS, you are just blown away that, oh my god, there's this and there's that and there's X and there's Y. But then I think by the time you get to third year, you've seen the majority of it and you start realizing, okay, right? So it's not disenchantment as such, but you just start getting used to it. So your energy, the jumping around energy also starts coming down.
Okay. What is something the initial first year kids find exciting and by third year you feel like, okay, this is not actually that important?
So there are on campus there are different talks almost every week. Like so usually there are like 2 to 3 talks every week.
Okay.
So different scholars are coming in, or some committee has invited a professor, or one of NS's own professors is having something, or even the students themselves have organized something. So in first year you're like, I don't want to miss anything. So you attend every talk you go to, every event you do, everything. But by third year you realize, yeah, is it really going to make a difference if I miss this one talk?
True.
So I think particularly with all these events and talks that are always happening on campus, by third year, you get a bit apathetic to it.
Okay. Okay, right. Now let's also talk a bit about CLAT. It's old news for you, but still, because you were not into science, how was your maths?
Maths was decent. I was better than my science, definitely.
Okay.
And I think somewhere where I got lucky is while I was not very good at something like trigonometry, like the more advanced parts of maths, what I was very good at was mental mathematics. So I was very quick with like addition, subtraction, division.
Calculation part.
Yeah, exactly. So the arithmetic, particularly mental arithmetic, was luckily very fast. So I think that is something which really helped me with CLAT.
Okay. So what would you suggest to the students who want to skip on quant? कि यार quant तो नहीं करना मैम, quant के बिना भी तो हो जाएगा please. If they miss NLS by let's say 3-4 marks,
Yeah.
Would that be okay? Would you say that it's okay?
No, see, I would suggest, so again, this is perhaps not great advice, but so let's say quant has 10 questions. Even if you pick A for all of them, and even if 2 of them are A, you will not lose a single mark, right? But in all likelihood, more than 2 of them are A. It is simple probability.
Okay.
And as long as you are even able to eliminate one option or 2 options, it always helps to just take a guess. Again, depends. So if
But
it's
you need to be good in arithmetic to know this even.
Yeah, that's true. But I think so. Usually, from what I remember from my mocks, out of the 4 options, one is always fairly easy to eliminate. It is the other 3 which get confusing. So even if you're able to eliminate one option using some tricks or something, or again, I think that if you've passed 10th, then you have the level of maths required to eliminate at least 1 or 2 of the options.
True.
After that, if you're worried, just take a guess. I think the probability is in your favor.
Correct. There's no point skipping the subject.
Yeah, exactly. So when that 1 mark could be the difference between getting NLS and not getting NLS, they're just you don't want to regret it.
NLS is worth it.
Definitely.
Right. Okay. Okay. Good. So, and with respect to CR and RC, like students have this problem. RC में अच्छा आ रहा है तो CR में खराब आ रहा है. CR में अच्छा है तो RC खराब हो गया. Did you face that problem, and what was your strategy for these 2 subjects?
I think one of the issues regarding CR and RC is it's more of a mindset issue, because when if you really think about it, so back in my CLAT they had 30 questions each. So if you put them all together and you just name it English as a section, no one will be able to tell that, you know what, this is RC and this is CR.
It's basically verbal reasoning.
Yeah, when you remove the labels, there's no difference between the 2 sections. So I think people tend to get worried because when you hear, oh my God, critical reasoning, it's like, oh my God, what is critical reasoning? But I think when you start thinking of it, like, you know, this is just English. Even legal reasoning is just English.
Correct.
When you start thinking of it and you realize that ultimately everything is reading comprehension, then I think a lot of the trouble goes away.
Right. What would you suggest about the mental strength part? Just let's do legal GK and then we'll come to this key important question. What would be your key takeaway for legal with respect to CLAT preparation? Legal.
I would say that it really helps to have a grasp of basic concepts. So, for example, I remember I was giving the CLAT 2021 paper just to practice. And it had this passage on consideration, like the legal reasoning passage on consideration in a contract. So at that point, I did not know what consideration is because I had just started my CLAT preparation. I was just seeing, okay, what are the PYQs like? So it took me around 10 to 15 minutes to solve that passage because I had to wrap my head around, okay, what even is consideration? But then I gave that paper again near the end of my preparation. And at that point, I knew very well what consideration is. So it really helped me to just skim the passage and get right into answering. So with legal, I would suggest it's definitely very helpful to have a basic familiarity with all this legal terminology and concepts, but you don't have to overdo it.
Mug up nahi karna.
Yeah, exactly. Because you are going to come to college to learn the law. You're not supposed to learn the law before coming to college.
Yes. And for GK,
yeah.
Only problem is source क्या है? Source बता दो भैया, किस में से CLAT आ रहा है? आप तो campus पे हो भैया, CLAT कहाँ से बना रहा है GK?
नहीं, GK was something which I dreaded throughout. Not so frankly, I really liked reading the newspaper, so I enjoyed reading the Hindu and the Indian Express every day. But I think it's wiki. I think the biggest problem with GK is FOMO, right? So I had a friend, again, he's with me in NLS, he has a very good rank, but he used to do 15 different individual sources for GK. And it scared me so much that here I am doing my 3 sources and this person is doing 15 sources. Am I missing out? So
Piyush.
I think...
Piyush?
No, not Piyush.
Okay.
But yeah, so the idea is, so I think the first biggest fear to get over is this fear that, oh my God, am I doing enough for GK? Sure. Because what you have to realize that ultimately the paper is being said by some professor in an NLU. that professor himself won't be going through 15 GK sources. They will pick up the newspaper and they'll just put questions on whatever they find interesting.
True.
So you're not preparing for UPSC, you're preparing for CLAT firstly.
True.
And I think related to that, just restrict yourself to a number of sources. I would say not more than 3 or 4. Even 4 is a bit much. I think 3 is the sweet spot. Okay. So pick 3 sources, but then do them religiously. Don't miss a single word, and have that satisfaction that yeah, I've only done 3 sources, but if anyone asks me anything from those 3 sources, I'll be able to answer it. And I think that will give you much more mental satisfaction than doing 15 sources skimmingly.
Right. Okay. Did you have a plan B?
Not really.
Okay, so you're just focusing on CLAT.
Yeah. See, so my idea was that since CLAT is in December, like CLAT and AILET are in December, let me just give them. If I end up having to give any other law entrance, anyway, it will be after my boards. True. So I'll cross that bridge when it comes to it. Okay, good.
When it comes to mental strength, and even surviving college, I believe mental strength is required. What would you say? The mental strength required in CLAT versus mental strength required in surviving the politics of first year college campus. What would you consider more tough?
I would say both are similar to a degree. Because ultimately it's all about competition, right? So even in CLAT, there are these, that there are 1 lakh people out there and I'm competing with them. True. And even in college, I think it's much more real in college because you can put a face to this person that yeah, he has a 6.7 CGPA and he has done an international moot. Right. And right, so I think competition is much more real in college. But I think in CLAT, the sense of competition makes up by the sheer number of people whom you're competing with. Right. So yeah, I think mental strength is definitely very necessary in both of these contexts.
What was your go-to trick or way to deal with the hiccups during your preparation?
I think it helps to take a break. So I think what you realize is, so if you just immerse yourself so in a CLAT context, you're just giving mocks, analyzing mocks, doing GK all day, you end up getting very immersed in it and you start seeing it as the only thing in the world. So when anything goes wrong, logically it seems like everything has gone wrong. But I think when you step out a bit, so I had this schedule that every afternoon I would give a mock / do GK and then I would take my dog for a walk. So it was like, okay, paper went well, it's fine. There's a larger life.
There are trees, there are birds, there are people.
Exactly. Right. There's a larger life beyond this and I need to stop being so absorbed by it. And I think the second thing that helps, and particularly on D-Day, right? Because no matter, even if you've devoted every single waking moment to studying for CLAT, you will feel that you've not done enough on D-Day. True. So I think on that day, it just helps to tell yourself that, I did the best I could. Now let me do the best with what I have done.
Right, exactly. And another very important part, a lot of students, they are so sad about the fact that they are sacrificing something in school, sacrificing their time with friends, sacrificing maybe some marriage or party at school or relative. So and I tell them that it's okay, you'll have more things going forward. So is that sacrifice too much? Because they know, some of them might have missed 11th, मतलब दिसंबर में कोई पार्टी हुई तो नवंबर में कुछ हुआ तो वो जो मिस करते हैं, is that too much or is it worth it when it comes to Bangalore?
See, so I think objectively I can say it is worth it because okay, you missed that one birthday party, but then that means you get to spend 5 years at a great university. But I think subjectively it differs a lot from person to person. So again, if it's my best friend's birthday party, then I won't be able to focus on my studies because I am missing that party, right? So I think you as the individual have to take that call that yeah, I understand that I need to study and this is a much more pressing need, but will missing this other thing come to affect my studies? True. So for me, for instance, right, so I mentioned that I used to take my dog for a walk. So as CLAT got nearer, every minute starts counting. You're like, I can't even waste 20 minutes. I need to do this month's GK. So my family member suggested me, why do you take her for a walk every day? Like, let someone else do it. You focus on your studies. And I weighed it to myself that yeah, it's true. Those 20 extra minutes, especially over a week, they become what 2 point something hours. Correct. Right? That will never hurt. But this is something which I value as a person. So objectively, while I should let someone else do it, subjectively, I think it eventually helps me with my studies to just take her for a walk every day.
So that helps. If you have a group, if you have a supporting
Yeah,
thing, anything
exactly.
you like to do, you must do it.
Yeah.
Vis-a-vis. Social media time pass, did you used to do
Social
that?
media, I did, but I think near CLAT, I deactivated everything.
Everything. Okay, good, good, good. Okay, so any final message to these aspirants who are appearing for this year? Ki CLAT, for them, CLAT is everything, right? So what is your message to them?
See, so I would suggest one AIR 1 will also get into NLS, AIR 100 will also get into NLS. So don't say, oh my god, this one person is ahead of me, my life is ruined, right? Because there is not just one spot in NLS. So even if you are not at the absolute top, even if you are not the best of the best, don't worry about it. Second advice I would like to give is, again, just step out a bit, because especially as the exam draws closer, you tend to grow very prone to panicking.
Correct.
So I think it really helps to just take a step back, take a larger view. Okay, and this is a very important exam, and you've devoted a lot of your time to it.
Right.
But just because it does not go well is not the end of the world, right?
True.
There are always other options, and yeah, who knows? Maybe you'll find out that NLS or whatever your dream college is was not the one for you. Maybe you'll end up loving something else just as much, or perhaps even more.
So you must have friends who are in other
Yeah,
universities.
and they are much happy. Frankly, I would say they are much happier than we are. Yeah, because
Right.
they have much lesser academic burden. So they go out, they party, they explore.
True, true. The Nalsa people would usually call and say, "यार हम तो मजे कर रहे हैं,
Yeah,
तुम लोग
exactly.
कितना पढ़ रहे हो?"
So they are, I would say, much happier than we are.
True, true. It's okay. You
Yeah.
have to enjoy the process.
Yeah, definitely, definitely. And the third advice would be just to try to have fun in the process. Maybe have something that you look forward to each day. So I really look forward to reading the newspaper every day, because generally I've always been interested in GK and current affairs. So when you start looking at your preparation process as something you look forward to, you automatically become much better at doing it.
Right. Then you enjoy the process irrespective of the mock score or
Yeah, exactly,
selection path.
exactly.
Correct. Good, good, good. Right. Thank you so much, everyone. I hope you have learned something. You have, and I guess the message is just take a break and prepare and enjoy, right? Just to match the vibe of Abhinav. So yes, Abhinav, thank you so much for joining us, and I believe students do really need this calming part. Right? Thank you, everyone.